Welcome to the day 29 of our UGC-NET Paper I class. In today's class, in logical reasoning, we are going to see about mood and figure, formal and informal fallacies, uses of language. So these three topics we are going to see. So those who have attended yesterday's class, you might have some idea about, you might remember about the categorical propositions where syllogism, all those things were there. So just a moment. So moving on. First, mood. So what is a mood? நம்ம யூஸ்வலா பேசும்போது எனக்கு மூடு சரியில்லை, ஐ டோன்ட் ஹாவ் மூட் டு ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆர் சம்திங், we will say no. So that is what similar to here, because a mood is a thing which describes the emotion delivered in the statements. So they have given here the mood of a categorical syllogism. Actually it is a continuation from yesterday's topic. So the mood of a categorical syllogism is a series of 3 letters corresponding to the type of proposition. So the 3 would be major, minor and the conclusion. So the 3 letters actually A, E, I or O. So any letter might be, they say, denoting something. Next, during the medieval period, the medieval logicians invented a simple method of labeling the various forms in which a categorical syllogism may occur by simply stating its mood and figure. So in order to, there are so many arguments are there. So in order to confine them and understand them in an easy manner, during the medieval period, the logicians or philosophers at that time invented a simple method by labeling the moods and figures of the statements. So here categorical propositions are represented by letters, that is A, E, I, O. Yesterday we have seen a table, and that same table is repeated in the upcoming slides. So those who have not attended yesterday, you can see today also. And so this is the main table that I was saying now. So what is a proposition? See, in our exam, not just in our exam, in any kind of logical reasoning, the statements would fall under either of these 4 categories. The first one would be all S or P. So S is subject here, P is predicate. So then no S or P. So S again subject, P predicate, and some S or P, some S or not P. See, for that I think in yesterday class, sorry for saying that again and again yesterday's class, but this is a continuation, so I can't avoid saying that thing. So from yesterday's class, quantity, quality, both we might have seen. So first is universal, both things that is fully covering, that is either everything, all S or P or no S or P. So that is universal, affirmative, universal negative. Next, particular affirmative, particular negative, that is here particular denotes part, the partial. So if it is universal affirmative, that is A. If it is universal negative, that is E. Particular affirmative I, particular negative O. So any proposition falls under either of these 4 categories, and each of these category could be denoted by a letter. So you keep remember, you please remember these letters, because these are the things which might help us understand the topic in a very better manner. Next, here I have given examples. So first example, all cats are mammals. Some mammals are carnivorous. So therefore some cats are carnivorous. See here, all. So the first statement is A. So some cats are carnivorous, some. So that is R, that is particular affirmative, that is I. Therefore Some cats are carnivorous, again I. So that's what they have given here. A, I. See, based on the letters. And here you can say based on that also. Next is no. So obviously that is E. Next is some I. See here are not. So therefore O. That's how we have to solve this questions. If there is some questions is there, we have to solve in such a manner. I hope everyone understood what mood is. So next is figures. So we have identified a figure. In yesterday's class and even today's class also, there we might have recalled the term here. No, I said, see, there would be major, minor, and the conclusion. Likewise, there is a major, minor, and middle term. So see here, for I am repeating from the yesterday's class. All cats are subject. R is called, I'm stucking. So R is a connecting verb. Next, mammals is the predicate. So one is a major, another is a minor, and another one is a middle term. So you, from these three statements, you can find out three items. First item, you can say it as major. I'm just saying for example, not exact one. So you just keep remember that. So first one is minor. One term is minor and another term is major. Another term might be middle term. So see here, in the conclusion, which two terms are coming? Those terms could be called as major and minor. So that means mammals is the middle term here. Likewise, here insects is the middle term. So based on that, middle term, predicate, subject. So S is subject, M is middle term, P is predicate. So a figure of a syllogism refers to the placement of the middle term. Placement of the middle term. So like I said, this middle term appears in both the premises but not in the conclusion. So in these two examples, in the final conclusion, mammals is not appearing. Therefore, in this example, mammals is the middle term. And here, insects is not appearing in the conclusion. Therefore, insects is the middle term. But see the placement here. Here mammals, that middle term comes at the end. But whereas here it comes as the comes at the first place. So that is what they have given here. The placement of the middle term is calculated. So based on that, it falls under either of these categories. So now you have found out the mood. Now can you tell me the we can see about the figure. So first one, see here. These three is premise 1, premise 2, conclusion. So likewise, in the first statement, middle term is coming later. Therefore, middle term is coming in the second position. It should fall under either this or this. So previously, P is the predicate. Therefore, here also it is coming as a predicate. So first term where it comes is the predicate. That means we should see here the difference. Next is M comes in the second or first. So here M comes in the first. So here see it is coming in the last. So this one not available, not possible. So likely it is the possible solution. That means then subject and predicate. See here predicate is the first word. Here it is coming in the last. So see the statement. Some cats are carnivorous. Here the order is changing. So if the order is changing, we have to find out which category it falls under. So based on that, we can, here two things are forming out. So we can say that is AII is the mood and fourth figure is the figure. That is figure 4 is the category of that thing. As for the second example, see here the same thing. Here it comes in the first. That means this one or at this one again. Next, here it comes in the first, this one or this one, that is first or third. So next, here some animals or insects, it is coming at last. That means here it is coming at last, but here it is. So obviously this one is the possible way. That means here EIO, first figure. So likewise we have to, because I have asked questions in the question session, so you have to calculate based on this. You please take a note of it so that you can answer the question in a better way. So here the figure of a syllogism is determined by the position of the middle term. So these are the 4 categories. You have to remember this. Next, for the figure, see here we have given, I think 3, so 4 into 3, 12 possibilities we have given here now. But what they are saying is that there are totally 256 combination of the different forms of mood and figure is there. That means that many number of combinations are possible. Out of these 256 combinations, only 15 were found to be valid by Aristotle. So you know the Greek philosopher Aristotle. So he found only 15 were valid. So there are 9 conditionally valid argument forms the categorical syllogism in addition to the 15 unconditionally valid argument forms. So these are the 15 unconditional. See here, for the first example, AII. For the next example, see here. Like I said, AII where we formed. So in this example, we formed AII and we set it as 4th. But so in the 4th figure, AII is not available. So therefore, that statement itself, there is some controversies is there. But as for the second example, see here, EIO, we set it as first figure. So EIO, it is available in the first figure. So these are the here 4 and see the total 15 combinations. These are the 15 valid arguments, but there are totally 256 arguments. So any statement or argument could be formed in any manner and they could fall under in any mood or figure. So we have to first identify the mood, then we have to identify the figure. So what is the significance? Why we need to find the mood and figure in an argument? So it ensures the coherence. So mood and figure provides a systematic approach to organizing syllogisms. Like I said, so we have to find, since I said the middle term won't be available in the third, that is conclusion statement, we obviously know that here whichever word or element is not available, that could be called as middle term. So we have a systematic format to follow so that we can identify easily, and this helps to establish the logical coherence of the arguments presented. Next, facilitating critical thinking. So suddenly now, if I am after knowing this or after learning about this, when you approach a question or when you approach a similar type of statements, you will obviously find, you know to find that which is the middle term. So that is the, you learn to analyze the critical thinking. So here analyzing moods and figures enhances critical thinking. It allows for the identification of logical fallacies and strengthens reasoning abilities. So these are the significance of mood and figure. So mood and figure part is over. Now moving on to fallacy. So what is a fallacy? See here, fallacy is simply a mistake in reasoning. So when a reasoning occurs, if there is a mistake in that reasoning or a statement, then that is known as fallacy. So some fallacies are formal, some are informal. So a formal fallacy is simply an argument whose form is invalid regardless of the meaning of the sentences. So any meaning could be given, but still their form is invalid. Two formal fallacies that are similar to but should never be confused with. You guys remember the modus ponens and modus tollens we have talked about in the syllogism class in numerical ability. So I hope you guys remember that or try to recall after, so that these two are both are similar, but at the same time they are not the same. So they are denying the antecedent and affirming the consequent. So based on that it is happening. You just, I don't want to again repeat the explanation for modus ponens and modus tollens. So you go through that previous video or slides which I have given. So a logical fallacy is an argument that may sound convincing. See here. So it applies to our day-to-day life also. That's why I am stressing out. So a logical fallacy is an argument that may sound convincing or true, but is actually flawed. So whenever there is a flaw, if even though it is convincing or true, still if there is a flaw, then that could be called as fallacy. So logical fallacies are leaps of logic that lead us to an unsupported conclusion. So when people would do that, people may commit a logical fallacy unintentionally due to poor reasoning or intentionally in order to manipulate others. So we are saying something partly to manipulate other people. So those things are the fallacy. So I don't know whether the right example I'm giving. So suddenly the example coming to my mind is, you guys might have watched the movie Saduranga Vettai, where the hero cons or cheats the people. So in order to cheat the people or conning the people, the statements placed by the or told by the hero could be fall under the fallacy category, because they do have a argument which seems to be acceptable. Still at the same time, when you analyze it in a particular very clear critical manner, you might find it there is a flaw in that statement provided by the hero. So I think that example might be somewhat related to the fallacy statement. So mistakes in fallacy. There are two types of mistakes which can appear in the fallacy. First is a factual error in the premises. Any factual, so instead of saying accurate data or any fact, you are making a factual error in the premises. Like for example, so when a movie collection is going on, there might be some amount, but they might extrapolate that amount and publish it to the media in a large manner. So there the actual fact might be distorted. So that is the factual error in that premises. And second is the premises fail to logically support the conclusion. So any argument or statement would have three statements. Three statements. Two are premises. Third one is the conclusion. Based on the two premises, we are arriving at the conclusion. So when the conclusion is not logically supported by the premises, then their mistake in a fallacy is occurring. So this is these two statements are again reordered in other words. So a logical fallacy violates the principles of critical thinking because the premises do not sufficiently support the conclusion. One thing. Otherwise, while a factual error involves being wrong about the facts. So we have to first identify what kind of mistakes is being made in that fallacy. So types of fallacies. First is formal fallacy. Second is informal fallacy. So what is a formal fallacy? Most formal fallacies are errors of logic. The conclusion doesn't follow form. So either the premises are untrue or the argument is invalid. So here they have given an example. All black bears are omnivorous. All raccoons are omnivorous. So all raccoons are black bears. See here, this is one statement which might be true, and this is also another statement which might be also true. But see the conclusion. These two statements does not compulsorily follow the conclusion or form the conclusion. So since they both are omnivorous, we cannot say all raccoons are black bears. So bears, they have given the explanation here. Bears are a subset of omnivorous. Raccoons are also a subset of omnivorous. But these two subsets do not overlap, and that fact makes the conclusion illogical. So the argument itself is invalid here. That is, the relationship between the premises doesn't support the conclusion. So this is a formal fallacy. As far as the informal fallacy, It may take many forms and are widespread in everyday our own discourse. So they involve bringing irrelevant information into an argument, or they are based on assumptions that when examined proved to be incorrect. So we are assuming yes, we are assuming a student to be, if he is coming from a certain village or something, they would be like that. But when you analyze or examine properly, we can identify that the same thing what we assumed would be incorrect. So these are the informal fallacies. So formal fallacies are created when the relation between premises and conclusion does not hold up, or when premises are unsound. But informal fallacies are more dependent on the misuse of language and of evidence. So we are misusing, we are assuming something based on our own idea and our own knowledge about a subject matter. So it is easy to find fairly well accepted list of informal fallacies, but that does not mean that it is always easy to spot them. So we cannot easily, unless otherwise we know for fact. So for example, again I'm giving the same example of box office collections. So we hear from the producers or the fans, whatever, in social media, that a particular movie has collected certain number of crores in the box office, but we do not know the reality of that or authenticity of that data, so that we may choose to believe or we may choose to deny. So we, unless otherwise we approach the producer and have a very statistical data, we cannot easily identify whether it is a fallacy or not. So likewise, some are easy to identify, but some are not easy to spot them. So some moves are always fallacious, others represent ways of thinking that are sometimes valid and reasonable, but which can also be misused in ways that make them fallacies. So here I have given three common logical fallacies. So one is red herring fallacies. So what is a red herring fallacies? A deliberate attempt to mislead and distract an audience by bringing up an unrelated issue to falsely oppose the issue at hand. So when a person, again we can talk about students itself. So when a student is not getting much marks in the exam, so when we are discussing about his our own, that if the student is not getting mark, we also as a teacher should take responsibility. So our teaching method also should evolve. So in that time, while discussing about the student as well as the marks, we irrelevantly bring some other our own personal matter or something that we try to deviate from the topic. Like we bring out another exam or something, different student something. So all those things, whenever a deliberate attempt to mislead and distract an audience, is the red herring fallacies. Bandwagon fallacy. Bandwagon is that, so if in தமிழ்ல ரொம்ப சிம்பிளா சொன்னா, பொய்யை நிறைய தடவை சொன்னா அது உண்மையாகிடாது. So once we repeatedly say something repeatedly, as well as we are making others to say more things about that. Like for example, Takken, again I'm sorry for bringing the movie examples. So பாபநாசம் படம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா, அந்த தேதிகள் மட்டும் அவர் மாத்தும் போது he narrates the thing. So those who have not seen Babanasam, the original is Drishyam by Mohanlal, and in Hindi also Drishyam by Ajay Devgan. So in that movie, the protagonist character will make the people around him believe that they have gone in a certain dates where they originally have gone in the previous dates. So what evidence would be formed when more people are talking about that same dates? It becomes unknowingly the true statements. It is assumed to be true. So here we are basing the validity of our argument on how many people believe or do the same thing as we do. So that is bandwagon fallacy. Next is straw man fallacy. So here, instead of instead of refuting an argument to the other person, here we are distorting, that is something we are for example, somebody say something with excitement, we dull them by not at all considering it as worthy. So we say something when some person says I got a sports championship, you might ask, so what? Nothing matters, go on, that's all. You are diluting or you are simplifying someone's position so that they become a how to say, they become an inappropriate or unwanted character in that argument. So here we are making as a straw man, that is a வைக்க போர்ல வைக்கிற அந்த கார்டு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம்ல, so அந்த பொம்மை மாதிரி நம்ம அவங்கள மாத்துறோம். So that is the straw man fallacies. So here these are the common fallacies we are being asked in the UGC-NET. So what is the fallacy and what type it is and what is the explanation? See here, denying the antecedent, where we have seen in the modus operandi, no? So modus operandi is modus tollens. So here, if P tends to Q, not P, not Q. See here, if something is there, then that denotes another thing. But if that something, if P is not there, then Q won't be there, means that is invalid. So denying the antecedent. Antecedent means we are the precedent means follows previous one. Antecedent means following one. So when an agreement or when an argument is accepted, the following argument is rejected, means that is the formal fallacy, that is denying the antecedent. Next, ad hominem. So it is a attack on person, not the argument. So when a person says something, instead of taking that argument, you are focusing on the person. Likewise, the current trend where Kamal Hassan has said something, actor Kamal Hassan, regarding the Kannada language. So the more thing is being focused on the person, not the context which he has said. Next is false dilemma. So only two extreme choices are given. Other than that, not middle choices are given. So that kind of fallacy is the false dilemma. Next is slippery slope. So when a small event occurs, huge consequence without evidence is happening. So here, see here, they are assuming that when a small event occurs, huge consequence might be there, but they don't have proper evidence. For example, today it is cloudy, that's all, not even raining. So that is a small event. The huge consequence what they are predicting is that then if the morning is cloudy, within night there will be floods on the streets. So we don't have any relevant proper data for that argument. So that is the small argument where huge consequences are there, but without proper evidence. Next is appeal to authority. See here when any person or the person framing the argument is being blindly believed by the person, another person forming, no matter, see, even though we know that something is there, but certain people will say, I trust him, so whatever he does is right, so I will do whatever I will believe whatever he says, or I will do whatever he asks me to do. So that is trusting authority blindly. Next is circular reasoning. So here conclusion repeats the premise. So instead of forming a separate conclusion, it is again repeating the statement premise where either any premise 1 or premise 2. So that is the circular reasoning. Next is naturalistic fallacy. Assuming natural equal to good. So anything comes from natural or occurs natural, it is a good thing. So that is the naturalistic fallacy. So these all comes under informal fallacy category. This one alone comes under the formal category. So next is uses of language. So as the heading states, it is simple how we are using the language. So logic is the means of thinking correctly. So any logic means we are thinking correctly. And language is the dress of thought. So how we are expressing our logical thinking. So thoughts must be expressed in a language, because if we do not express our thoughts in language, we will not be able to analyze them logically. So logic, which protects our minds from falling into error, finds a space for just a minute finds a space for our expression through language. So thoughts and concepts that qualify as right or wrong occur through language. We know that anything we say, even our own right now class, I am saying something, I might say either correctly or I might say something wrongly. Whichever is that, I want to convey through a certain language. So therefore, to determine the logical validity of any reasoning, it must be expressed through language and form and argument. So for using the language, there are three basic functions or three important uses. So first is informative, second is expressive, third is directive. Actually, there are 6 things are there. I have given in the other 3 in the table form. So we will see that. Now first, as for the informative language. So informative language can be looked at as though it is either right or wrong or true or false. That's all. So which could be true or which could be false, which could be right or which could be wrong. So some have written that informative language is both believable and valuable language. So it is believable and valuable. As for the here they have given example. So that is about the informative language. Language is used to offer opinions, give advice, make announcements, lecture, admonish, report news, solicit input, or ask questions. So everyday conversations center around information sharing. So all these things are happening through the language. It could be either true or false. It could be either right or wrong. So that's how here. So if we are stating something, then we are giving some kind of information, and as such it becomes informative language. So right now I am using the language for informative purpose. So my communication to you guys might be informative language format. Next is expressive language. So based on the word itself, expression. So here expressive language helps us communicate a mood or a feeling. So when a communicator, reader, or is happy or sad, they are expressing their own thoughts or even their own mood particularly. So expressive language may or may not include any real information, but because it is to convey emotion. See here, you might have heard the word yak. Yak connotes to, that is, yak denotes the disgust, that their own disgust. For example, in Tamil, Ayyo. So Ayyo, we might have fallen or something. We might say that is we are stressing out there. So that single word need not to convey any information, whereas it conveys our own mood or feeling at that particular time. So see here, the expression yet connotes to disgust, but the word itself isn't necessarily used to inform. So expressive language is useful in a general sense in literature because it can be written as an onomatopoeia. So sorry for pronouncing that somewhat. So which certainly has a great deal of power, as it can describe the sounds we hear and the noises of everyday life. So everyday, like we are saying, so some sounds we make, no. So all this comes under expressive language. They does not convey the exact information, but they express our feeling or mood at that time. So conversely, receptive language is your ability to comprehend these emotions. We are hearing and receiving that emotions. So you are receiving information and therefore receptive to the information given to you. So this is known as expressive language. Now comes the directive language. So this one gets a little more complex. Why? Because you are directing some person. So some would say that directive language is typically used to give a command of some sort to somebody, but it is normally not considered true or false. It's just a statement. So here they have given example, shut off the light. That's all. It need not be considered either true or false. They are giving a command or direction. So that's why it is known as directive language. So we might stand in a place where there might be having a board called no smoking, no camera use, so no loitering as the example here. So these things are directive language. They are directing our ways to perform. So even the last one here, get away from there. So we are pushing or saying commanding someone to do something. So get away from there. So this is known as directive language. Now the other three languages. See here. First one descriptive. That is we have seen informative. So again the another name is descriptive. So we are describe facts or giving information. Next is expressive. So to express feelings or emotions. Next is directive, to give commands or instructions. As for the evaluative, to make judgments or give opinions. Next, performative, to perform actions using words. So promising, apologizing. Next is fatigue. So to maintain social relationships, greetings, that is good morning, good afternoon, bonjour, all those things. No, so those words or those languages are fatigue languages. So I think that's all for the today's class. First on the table, we will go for the table. So see here guys, let me ask you, are you guys right now familiar with the 4 letters? Which is which? நீங்க 3 பேர் ஆன்சர் பண்ணுங்க. இந்த லெட்டர்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல, இந்த 4 லெட்டர்ஸ் வந்து எதுக்கு எது வருதுன்னு நீங்க எல்லாரும் தெளிவா இருக்கீங்களா?
எஸ் சார்.
இப்ப ஏ வருதுன்னா ஆல் வந்தா ஏ, நோ வந்தா இ, சம்ல ஆர் பாசிட்டிவா இருந்தா ஐ, நெகட்டிவா இருந்தா ஓ அப்படின்றது உங்க 3 பேருக்குமே தெளிவா இருக்கா?
எஸ் சார்.
ஓகே. சோ இதுதான் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு ஒரு ஆர்குமெண்டோட மூட டிஃபைன் பண்றது. சோ பேஸ்ட் ஆன் தட் ஒன்லி வி ஆர் அசியூமிங் த மூட் ஆஃப் தட் எனி ஆர்குமெண்ட்ஸ். சோ மூட் அண்ட் ஃபிகர்ல மூட் வந்து இஃப் ஆல் அப்படின்னு, தட் இஸ் யூனிவர்சலி அஃபர்மேட்டிவ். சோ that is denoted by A, and no is universal negative, that is denoted by E. And here some yes are, that is particular affirmative, some yes are positive is I and the negative is O. So these are the 4 letters denoting the mood. Now coming for the figure, இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு சிம்பிளா நான் வந்து ஒரு இது சொல்றேன். அதாவது மொத்தம் 4 டேபிள் இருக்கு. இந்த 4 டேபிள்ல இந்த ஃபிகர்ன்ற ஒரு கான்செப்டே வந்து மிடில் டேர்மை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் இயங்குது. அப்படின்னும் போது அந்த மிடில் டேர்ம் எம் எங்க வருதுன்றது தான் இதுல டோட்டலா வந்து விஷயமே. சோ இதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இருக்கிறது பிரெமைஸ் 1, செகண்ட் இருக்கிறது பிரெமைஸ் 2, தேர்ட் இருக்கிறது கன்க்ளூஷன். சோ தேர்ட் எப்பவுமே பாத்தீங்கன்னா சப்ஜெக்ட் அண்ட் ப்ரெடிகேட் தான் இருக்கும். அதுவும் இந்த ஆர்டர்ல தான் இருக்கும் கன்க்ளூஷன். சோ இந்த 2 தான் நம்ம வந்து டிட்டர்மைன் பண்றோம். அப்படின்னும் போது அது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபிகரா, செகண்ட் ஃபிகரா, தேர்டா, ஃபோர்த்தான்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். சோ இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த எம்ன்றது பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டுக்கும் செகண்டுக்கும் லெஃப்ட் கிராஸ்ல இருக்குது ஒரு கோடு, ஒரு ஸ்லாஷ் போடுற மாதிரி, அதாவது பேக் ஸ்லாஷ் போடுற மாதிரி. செகண்ட் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்ல இருக்குது, தேர்டும் ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்ல இருக்குது. ஆனா செகண்ட்ல ரைட் சைடுல இருக்கிற ஸ்ட்ரெயிட், தேர்ட்ல லெஃப்ட் சைடு இருக்கிற ஸ்ட்ரெயிட். சோ செகண்ட் ஃபிகர்னா ரெண்டுமே ஸ்ட்ரெயிட்டா வருது. அப்ப ரெண்டுமே லாஸ்ட்ல வருதுன்னா அது ரைட் சைடு, ரைட் ஸ்ட்ரெயிட். ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல வருதுன்னா லெஃப்ட் ஸ்ட்ரெயிட். இப்ப இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா நார்மல் ஸ்லாஷ் அந்த கேட்டகரியில இருக்குது. சோ இப்ப நான் இங்க இதை காட்டுறேன். இங்க பாருங்க, இங்க வந்து எந்த வார்த்தை வரலையோ அதான் மிடில் டேர்ம். அப்படின்னும் போது மேமல்ஸ் அப்படின்றது தான் இங்க வரல. சோ மேமல்ஸ் தான் இங்க மிடில் டேர்ம். இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா ரைட் சைட்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருக்குது, செகண்ட்ல வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல லாஸ்ட், தட் இஸ் ரைட் சைட்ல இருக்குது, செகண்ட் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்ல லெஃப்ட்ல இருக்குதுன்னும் போது கிராஸ் நார்மல் ஸ்லாஷ். அப்ப இங்க நார்மல் ஸ்லாஷ் என்னது? 4th ஃபிகர். சோ அப்படிதான் வந்து இது எந்த ஃபிகர்ல வருதுன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கணும். அப்ப அப்படின்னும் போது இங்க பாருங்க, இங்க இன்செக்ட்ஸ் தான் வந்து ரெண்டுத்துலயும் வருது. இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா பேக் ஸ்லாஷ். ஸோ பேக் ஸ்லாஷ் இதுல எதில் வருது, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபிகர்ல வருது. ஸோ தட்ஸ் ஹவ் வி ஆர் ஐடென்டிஃபைங் த வெதர் இட் இஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபிகர் ஆர் செகண்ட் ஃபிகர். ஸோ இப்படிதான் வந்து கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம். இப்ப இந்த கான்செப்ட் புரிஞ்சுதா உங்க 3 பேருக்கும்?
எஸ் சார்.
ஓகே. ஸோ இப்ப இந்த 15 நம்மளால ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்க முடியாது. ஸ்டில் இதுல நீங்க நல்லா நோட் பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா சில இது வந்து ரிப்பீட் ஆகுது. ஸோ இந்த இஐஓ பாத்தீங்கன்னா 3 ஆக்சுவலி 4த்துலயுமே வருது. அண்ட் இஐ பாத்தீங்கன்னா இது 2த்துல இருக்குது. அப்படின்னும் போது எந்த ஃபிகர் கூட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபிகரா செகண்ட் ஃபிகரான்னு அதோட பேஸ் பண்ணி இந்த 15 காம்பினேஷன் வருது. இந்த 15 தான் அன்கண்டிஷனலி வேலிட் ஆர்குமெண்ட்ஸ். அண்ட் இது இல்லாம அதர் 9 ஆல்சோ தேர். பட் நம்ம மோஸ்ட்லி நம்ம எக்ஸாம்ஸ்க்கு இல்ல காமனா இதுக்கு இந்த 15லே வந்து முடிஞ்சிடும். ஸோ அப்படின்னும் போது அப்ப இது இல்லாம 256 காம்பினேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு. அப்ப எப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஏஇஐஓ இருக்குல்ல, இதை வந்து நம்ம வந்து அந்த டக்குன்னு அதாவது 1x2x3 நம்ம இந்த அன்னியன் படத்துல வந்து பிரகாஷ் ராஜ் பண்ற மாதிரி அந்த வார்த்தை விளையாட்டுகள் திருப்பி போடுற மாதிரி காம்பினேஷன்ஸ் கண்டுபிடிக்கணும். அப்ப அப்படின்னும் போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் காம்பினேஷன், அதுவும் இதுல நம்ம 3 தான் எடுக்கணும் அப்படின்னு, ஏன்னா 3 ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் தான் இருக்கும். அப்படின்னும் போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஏஏஏ 3 ஏ இருக்கும், அடுத்து இஇஇ அந்த மாதிரி வரும். அதுக்கடுத்து 2 ஏ ஒரு இ, 2 ஏ ஒரு ஐ, 2 ஏ ஒரு ஓ. ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி இந்த 4 வார்த்தைக்கும் 3 லெட்டர் வர மாதிரி காம்பினேஷன்ஸ் எத்தனை வருதுன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா 256 காம்பினேஷன்ஸ் பாசிபிலிட்டி இருக்கு. அதுல நம்ம இந்த 15 தான் எடுத்திருக்கோம். அதுவும் இந்த ஃபிகர் பேஸ் பண்ணி சில இது வந்து ரிப்பீட்டட் ஆகுது. ஸோ இப்ப அதன் அடிப்படையில இப்ப இந்த இது உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அதன் அடிப்படையில் நீங்க வந்து இப்ப இந்த கொஸ்டினை அகைன் திருப்பி பாருங்க. இங்க நம்ம வந்து ஏன்னு எல்லாமே கொடுத்தாச்சு. ஆக்சுவலி இது கொடுக்கலன்னா நீங்க அது ஏவா பியா எப்படின்னா இங்க பாருங்க லாஸ்ட் ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் AI4. இப்ப நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி இது வந்து நல்லா பாத்துக்கோங்க, பேக் ஸ்லாஷ் அப்ப ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபிகர். இதுல பாத்தீங்கன்னா நார்மல் ஸ்லாஷ், சோ 4th ஃபிகர் தான் வரணும். ஓகேவா? இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா எந்த இது வந்து முதல் 2த்துல ரிப்பீட் ஆகுதோ இங்க வந்து 2. ஆக்சுவலி எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு இதுவுமே தப்பு தான். நான் இந்த ஆப்ஷன் வந்து தப்பு தான் வரும். ஸோ சிங்கர்ஸ் பேக் ஸ்லாஷ் வரும்போது உங்களுக்கு 4th ஃபிகர் தானே பாசிபிள். நார்மலா அது பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதுல வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருக்குது, ஐ மீன் சாரி இதுல லாஸ்ட்ல இருக்குது, இதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருக்குது, பேக் ஸ்லாஷ்ல இருக்குது. அப்படின்னும் போது அது 4th இது நார்மல் ஸ்லாஷ், சாரி பேக் ஸ்லாஷ் நார்மல் ஸ்லாஷ்ல இது 4th ஃபிகர் தான் இதுக்கு கரெக்டான ஆன்சர். ஸோ இந்த இடத்துல அது தப்பா இருக்குது, நானே அது தப்பு, அகைன் அதை சரி பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஸோ தீஸ் ஆர் சம் ஆஃப் த bibliographies. Actually I think each slide comprises for the each topic. So you go through all these bibliographies. So that's all. Thank you.